Hello, hoy hoy, 'tis I, Miss Tootie Odin, back again with you. Having a little bit of delay issues with my system for whatever reason. That reason might be informational overload. We'll wait and see to see how this episode actually goes. Anyway, welcome to Tootie'S Toy Box. If this is your first time here with us, welcome especially to you. If it is not your first time here with us, thanks for joining me once again. By the end of this episode, if you end up liking it, do me a favor and leave a thumbs up. If you like it a lot, do me a favor and subscribe. I am currently on the road to reaching 1K subscribers, an unrealistic goal for 2026, as I only have 55, but we only have 945 more to go. So if you know 945 other people, please introduce them to this podcast and let them know that we're just trying to enjoy our times. We're trying to promote healthy hobbies. We're trying to distribute fun information, anecdotal information, stories. We can trade in kind. That's what this channel is about. So welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to Tootie'S Toy Box. On today's episode, I do plan on talking, as you can see in the title, pop culture and psychological warfare. Now, the reason why I actually want to talk about this is because I caught myself slipping one day. I was talking to my best friend. If you guys have watched past episodes, you have kind of always known I bring up 9/11 a lot. I kind of need help, probably. I bring it up a little bit too much. But we're going to go a little bit deep into why it bothered us so much. Me, as a 17-year-old, when 2001, September 11, 2001 happened, and how deep that rabbit hole, if you want to call it that, goes when it comes to the psychological effects of certain tragedies that happen to us as a human race, as an American race, especially in this, I should put my brush down, especially in this culture that we currently live in now. The current state of America is at an extreme breaking point. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're a hot mess right now. More so than I've ever seen in previous years. In my 42 years of life, I have never seen things get so chaotic and so disorderly in such a short time. It's interesting to watch, but at the same time, it makes me be this 180 or 360 three-dimensional human being where I'm always on the outside looking in. I never want to be too deep. I never want to be too much on the inside, because then you get lost. Then you become victim of their games, of their plan, of the things that they want to do to destroy us internally and outwardly as an entire cultural society. So I caught myself slipping the other day. I was talking to my best friend, and she had mentioned, do you guys remember that story a couple months ago? The old lady that got kidnapped, the reporter's mom, Samantha Guthrie, and how her mother got kidnapped, and how we couldn't escape that story. No matter where you were on the internet, it popped up. No matter where you were watching the news, it popped up. I specifically remember doing a job. We travel a lot for our work, and I specifically remember going into the desert, driving through and seeing two giant billboards. Mind you, this woman was kidnapped on the East Coast, New York, Washington. This woman was kidnapped on the East Coast. I'm on the exact opposite side of where this actually happened, and I was even further away from the situation, given that I was like in the desert and like going south. I guess I was going southeast, so maybe I was moving towards New York. I guess. But either way, billboards, massive billboards saying missing. Whatever the lady's name, Samantha Guthrie's mother. I don't remember her name, and there's a reason. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to. I don't give a shit about that woman. And the truth is, I actually said those words out loud. I do not give a shit about that woman, because I did one of these. Mental block, because I don't need any more breaking news and any more information about like the next tragedy and the thing that happened, and like there's certain things that you can just tell and breathe in, and you can kind of understand, like, yeah, that's not real. um and it's really tough. It's really tough to decipher what's real and what's not. And the truth is, most of it is real. So at the same time, you end up looking like an asshole. I end up looking like an asshole. And at the end of the day, a heartless human being. And you have to take all of that stuff into account. And that's psychological warfare. That's psychological warfare. And I caught myself. Doing all these things. Me and her were talking. Me and my best friend were talking. And she's like, hey, remember this lady? And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, Kamiko, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that entire situation. And then it got bigger. Like, that thought got bigger. Like, if I forgot about it, then the rest of the human race, the rest of the public, the rest of the country forgot about it. And if they forgot about it, it means they moved on from the story. We were so, I mean, not me personally, but we were so, like, invested in finding this poor old woman and hoping and praying that she's actually in a safe place and that she's okay. We still don't know if they found her or not. We still don't know if they're looking for her still. We don't know any of that. We just know that this is what's happening right now. This is what's going on. And then let's move on from it and go someplace else, because look over here. So it's wild. And I caught myself, one, being surprised that I didn't even remember that even happened, even though it was just a few weeks ago. Really, really just a few weeks ago. 2026 is only 4 months in, about to be 5, but only 4 months in at this point. So this just happened not long ago. Why would I forget? On top of forgetting, feeling guilt for acting so heartless about the situation in the first place, and just all these emotions about a situation that, one, I cannot control, and two, may be real or may not. That's at least that much. At least I have that much habitual mental cognizance to know that situation could be taken with a grain of salt. There are tons of situations like that can be taken with a grain of salt. And that isn't to suggest that they're fake, because a lot of these things that are happening to us in this country are in fact really real and at the expense of real people, which is why it triggers such emotion in all of us. And today I'm going to bring up some examples as to how we were feeling. I have some cool clips of an old of Howard Stern live on September 11th, and how direct those emotions were, and how we were directly affected immediately by the footage we were seeing. The COVID tolls. Do you guys remember watching CNN during COVID, during lockdown, or watching any type of news? You put on the news, whatever channel you watch on news, and then there's these numbers on the side of the screen that say death toll rises to, and then the number will change. Like, it's literally a counter that would change. Wasn't that just a bizarre time? That was a bizarre ass time in our timeline. Like, we're literally watching, you're watching the news, and it's like, oh, death toll hits 200,000 people of COVID death. And then, like, a commercial for Kraft macaroni and cheese comes on right after. A commercial for Pfizer comes on right after. Totally destroying. Like, just mentally destroying us. At one point, we're completely devastated. And the next minute, oh my God, I'm hungry. I want mac and cheese. It's wild. It's wild. Before I continue, before I go on, I'm going to read you the government definition, and I rewrote it. We reworded it just a little bit. I didn't take anything out. I didn't add anything. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I did take some things out because they were a little wordy, but I didn't add anything. So this is straight from the U.S. government. Psychological warfare is the technique of psychological manipulation used in warfare. They're used to deceive, disrupt, confuse, and demoralize the enemy, aiming towards weakening the enemy resistance. Aiming towards weakening the enemy resistance, or even causing enemy forces to surrender, causing enemy populations to capitulate. So that's straight from them. The enemy, the enemy, the enemy, the enemy. Aiming towards weakening the enemy resistance, or even causing enemy forces to surrender, causing enemy populations to capitulate. Oh, I lost somebody. I must have said too many big words. Anyway, capitulate means like basically to have them like be destroyed or just not exist anymore. But it's strange and it's interesting to me that the enemy is said 4 times in that description. The enemy, the enemy, the enemy. And the truth is, when the government started doing this, it was a tactic used against the enemy. Take from that what you will. I see a chat on. Sweet. What's up, Lone? So I do have a clip for you, and I'm gonna start with oh, I didn't even share my screen. I'm going to start with one that's actually kind of interesting to me, because this gives you an exact example of what psychological warfare actually is, or what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to damage your enemy, like damage your opponent, damage the guy that you're going to war with. This guy, that guy. That's what it's supposed to be for. We're going to get to how it's not used that way anymore. But I do want to share something with you. And the thing about this, man, the thing about I'm about to show you is I can't imagine how it didn't actually destroy veterans in Vietnam. It's a video of, there we go, a psychological tactic that supposedly was used by Vietnam itself. I'm of the idea that it was not used by Vietnam itself. I'm of the idea that we were the ones fucking with our own men in Vietnam. So this is a woman. Her name is Hanoi Hannah. And basically she's just recorded her voice over and over to fuck with Vietnam soldiers as they were down in the pits. It's interesting because there are actual interviews of some of these Vietnam soldiers, these Vietnam vets, that say to this day, like, recordings and voiceovers and things on a megaphone, like it's triggering for them, or it's something that takes them back, a flashback to that moment. There are other interviews where these Vietnam veterans are talking about how she would name specific bunkers and name specific soldiers specifically. Like, hey, George Glass, this war is not for you. You're weak. You could never fight this. Like, specifically naming soldiers in that bunker, in that rank, whatever. That part I haven't confirmed, but I'm not going to not believe a Vietnam vet about something like that. So that kind of alone tells me that it was our government kind of fucking with our guys, if I'm being honest. I don't see intel of Vietnam being able to be so customizable in finding these records the way our own government would have easy access to them. So I'm going to share this with you really quick. It's no video, it's actually just audio, but there is a picture involved, and it's a picture of Hanoi Hannah. Okay, let's do it.
GI, your government
Did I not press it? My bad.
has abandoned you. They have ordered you to die. GI, do not trust them. Defect, GI. It is a very good idea to leave a sinking ship. They lie to you, GI. You know you cannot win this war. Your rich leaders grow richer while you die in the swamp, GI. They will give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead. Your government lies to you every day, poor soldier. You have lost this war, GI. Your army will leave you behind. Imperialists make you fight this war, GI. They do not care about you. GI, your government has betrayed you. You will not return for you. GI, your airplanes bomb your own men. You are not safe here. The skies are dangerous, GI. They will napalm you tonight. Your pilots do not care that you are down here, GI. You cannot dig foxhole too high in, G.I. Joe. Your bombers will find you. G.I., your helicopters fall from the sky like broken birds. They cannot see you from your airplanes, G.I. They come to bomb you.
So during the Vietnam War, that is something that was played over and over and over and over and over and over and over again all night, all day, as much as possible, as best as possible to a lot of our Vietnam soldiers. Now, the difference between this psychological warfare and psychological warfare that happens to us, every single one of us, is this is deliberate. I mean, it's all deliberate, but this is its purpose, to be used in war and during war, and it worked. It absolutely worked. Our American soldiers and our American government came out of this war thinking they won. Well, our American government, our American soldiers understood that this war was an unwinnable war, absolutely unattainable, that win for the Vietnam War. Um, and then history repeats itself, doesn't it? We have Desert Storm, which was brief, in the early '80s, late '90s. I don't remember, late '80s, early '90s, maybe. And then, of course, we have the war in Iraq that happened, which was a direct effect of 9/11. That was the direct aftermath, is that we invaded Iraq, given Iraq had nothing to do with it. And we protested for a second, and then all of a sudden, boom, we were hit with even more psychological warfare, that gave us the economy, and things just trickled down. And that was 2001. We are now in 2026, and we are still experiencing the effects of the Iraq war today, whether we see it or not. Economically, that war did change so much about what is going on in America now. So much. 9/11 itself, September 11, 2001 itself, changed America in its own way, and not hyperbolically, not like, oh, like we were such a better country back then. And we were, but we weren't at the same time. We were being sold a lie, that we are continuously being sold. And as the veil gets pulled from over our faces, and we see more and more of the truth, more and more tragedies keep happening, to make sure that we know just enough truth to keep this going, to keep this cycle going. One thing I wanted to share with you guys was the term shotgun. If you're a weed smoker, raise your hand. Okay, cool. The term shotgun actually came from the Vietnam War. If you guys know what a shotgun is, it's when you share weed with somebody else by putting, you get your mouth filled with weed, and then you get somebody else's mouth not filled with weed, and then you guys like do this, and then like you shoot it into the other person's mouth and lungs, and then like and then like they get the weed, and they, it's one of those. So these are my puppets. That term actually came from the from Vietnam vets, because what they used to do is soldiers would turn their weapons into a weed pipe. So they would get their guns and they would turn them a certain way, and they would pack it with weed, and they would literally put the barrel in their mouth and smoke it like that. Literal shotgun, literally like a shotgun. Oh my God. So there's that. It's funny to see these little tiny tidbits of pop culture sprinkled in, because of the things that we endured through tragedy. I did an episode recently on this, pretty much the same thing, but I didn't go so much into the psychosis of it. But pop culture and war, I did an episode on pop culture and war directly, and it's amazing how much we discovered fashion came about through the war culture itself, from aviator sunglasses to obviously fatigues, army fatigues and whatnot. So there are certain things, the Kangol or the beret, like there are certain like things, even in fashion, that actually stem from tragedy or from somebody else's really bad memory about how things were in the war. But I wanted to share something with you guys. I wanted to share not one more. There's actually quite a few. actually. Let's go. Let me go here real quick. There we go. I wanted to share with you guys some pretty goddamn raw footage of 9/11, and then some raw live footage of our reaction to 9/11. I'm so glad I actually found these clips for you guys, because the emotion that's being thrown out, the awkwardness and the cringe behavior that you might want to call it these days, that is thrown out in these clips, is real. These people are reacting in real time to real lives being lost. It's absolutely insane. And then when you get into the thick of it and you start to understand, this was happening because our own government decided it was time for it to happen. Our own government decided, let's fuck with these people. They have it too good. Let's see what would happen if we make it bad for them. When you start to understand that it's us doing it to us, it makes the tragedy even more tragic. So I have one for you. Hold on. Thank you, whoever is watching right now, by the way. I truly appreciate it. It's not an easy subject, but it's a necessary one.
And there were hundreds of people hanging onto the building. That's one of the things that sticks with me every day.
Look, another man. Oh, God Almighty. Oh, God Almighty. Oh, God Almighty. Oh, God.
I can't imagine being in those people's shoes, having to make the choice of either burning to death or jumping and knowing you're dying. Horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
So obviously his personal reaction was an interview of Aftermath, but the initial reactions of the people on the ground and their voices shaking and the oh my God, as they watch people hanging off of a building, the outside of a building, and then understanding how they got in that position in the first place. Now, mind you, at this point, nobody really knows what's going on. They are starting to understand that there is definitely an attack happening, a terrorist attack happening on the United States. They do understand that much because the news had prominently put it out there that's exactly what was happening, is that we were being attacked by another country. It didn't help that the Pentagon was also attacked on 9/11, the Pentagon being the coup de grace of our military forces, of our how we conduct war, how we conduct peace, how we conduct as a country, and where the country is protected. So the Pentagon being attacked, I think that was the scariest thing of all over the 9/11 buildings, is that they actually attacked where we conduct war business successfully. They got something through the building. I didn't look like a plane. I don't think it was a plane. Could have been a plane. I don't know. Probably a rocket. Probably some sort of missile. From my experiences of going through footage for hours and hours, thousands and thousands of hours, since I was 17 years old, this really fucked me up. I can tell you guys this. I am definitely a victim of the psychological warfare, without a doubt. As much as I try to block myself from dealing with the psyops and dealing with the lies that our government puts out now, this is a direct result of 9/11. The way I am now is a direct result of 9/11. I wasn't even there. I was 17 and I watched the whole thing on TV at school. Yes, that's true. I did watch all of it. Most of us watched all of it. I don't know a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old from 2001 to today who wasn't watching it live as it was happening. Everybody was. And what's interesting is, while we're not all watching the same thing on the internet now, the reason why things go viral is for us to watch them. There are people who don't have any idea who Charlie Kirk was, who know exactly how he died. Psychological warfare is everywhere. We are not escaping it, period. I want to show you a clip. So, one of the greatest things in archival history, if I'm being very honest, is Howard Stern's broadcast of 9/11. He does a show in New York, or he still does. He did a show in New York back in 2001, Manhattan. So he was literally like blocks away from Ground Zero, as Ground Zero was ground zeroing. He had real New Yorkers call in and give updates. He had raw emotion. What I want to share with you guys is the raw emotion of how we felt and how pissed off we were. The adults probably more so than us as teenagers. I'll never forget, as a teenager, writing my friend Amy a note. We were in, I went to a Christian school. We were in Bible class at the time, and I was bored. And I remember writing her, "Dear Amy, the country is about to go to war. I love you." And then that was kind of it. And it was a joke, but I knew we were going to war because of what was happening. Like, we were literally attacked on American soil. There's no way America wasn't going to respond to that. And I remember jokingly, I think I still have that note till this day, if I'm being honest, because me and her had boxes. We traded boxes of notes. But she was moving out of state. So because she was moving out of state, I kept her box. I had my box, and I kept her box. So I had my box with my letters from her, and I ended up keeping her box from me for whatever reason. She couldn't take it, or she wasn't allowed to take it. I don't remember the situation, but I said, I'll keep it forever. And by the way, we still talk to this day. Not as much as we used to, but we still talk. But I remember writing that, "Dear Amy, today we're about to today the president declared war." That's what I put. That is all. And that was it. And again, ha ha, we're so funny. But it was the truth. We knew for a fact we were going to war. And I want to show you guys one. I have a couple clips. I'm doing the clippy thingy today. But I think these are good ones. I think these are absolutely necessary to show you. Let me find. Okay, here's the first one. Hold on. Yes, this is the first one. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Now, again, this is the Howard Stern show, recorded for radio, recorded for Sirius XM radio, but also attached to a TV show that I think was on Hollywood Network or something.
Adjusted by humans, and we better take care of our business, or we're all lost.
Yeah, our way of life will be destroyed.
Absolutely.
We are now we have to sit in fear.
Exactly.
Now
Okay, just so you guys know, if you can hear the sirens in this video, those are real sirens. They are listening to live things happening down below. Now, they're in a building. They're probably, I'm guessing, 30 to 60 stories above. But they have audio, they have radio, they have live TV. I think they have CNN on or whatever. But all of that is happening in real time. And somehow Howard has it all live recording in the background of his show. So I thought that was kind of cool too. Here we go.
it's time to get busy.
Country on the planet.
If we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed.
Right, don't sit and listen to these other countries like France, you fakes.
Wait and see.
Yeah, how many times have we bailed their ass out, and they house terrorists too?
Oh, absolutely.
Get rid of them too.
You know what? Just blow them all up.
There's debris falling onto the street from the World Trade Center, flames and smoke from both towers.
I can see it from my. I'm standing on the roof of my building.
All right.
It makes me cry. It's sad.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
An evacuation has been ordered at the United Nations. Now they're getting everybody out of every tall building.
Right.
Hey, Howard, CNN just also reported that they closed every airport in the country.
Good.
Absolutely.
Let's get
no
busy.
time to be flying around.
Yes, Zolar, you're on the air.
Oh, thank God you took my call, Howard.
I have a back-to-back one that I want to share with you. But before I do that, I want to point something out. Robin, which is Howard's co-host, she just said, if we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed. If we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed. That is cryptic as fuck. It creeped me out when I went back and rewatched this. If we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed. One, that was a raw emotion. Two, it's amazing how women can think so logically in a time like that. Anyway, but that was raw emotion. That was raw logic of, fuck you, I'm not interested in being scared about anything. Let's make a game plan. Let's move forward with it. Now, the con. We went to war. We were all for the war. Every single one of us. Let's blow them the hell up. Whoever the hell they are, let's blow them up. That was our attitude. Raw emotion, raw anger, raw hurt, raw fear. If we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed. Insane thing to say, if you ask me. Hold on, we're not there yet. Let's pull up. I got one more for you guys. In this live show. Here we go.
Let me tell you something, Howard. One word on the news about.
Oh no!
Wait a second. What happened?
my
Tom, what
God.
happened?
Oh my God!
What just happened?
Oh my God!
What just happened? Look at that.
Oh, the whole World Trade Center just collapsed.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Channel 7.
Oh my God!
God.
The whole thing just completely
my
dropped.
Goodness.
It actually collapsed.
That's it.
Oh my God!
Anybody who had a chance of getting out of there
Collapsed.
doesn't
It's
have
gone.
a chance now.
Are you watching the footage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrific.
The whole thing just collapsed.
What's everything around there's in danger.
Before I knew it, man, the next, the tower came down. And next thing I knew, I was running from a cloud of smoke.
When the first tower collapsed, there was just this deadening of emotions, a hopelessness came over me.
There was a guy that I knew in my teenage years who was in that building, and a really nice guy named Jay. And I didn't know he was in that building at that time, but you start to realize there were real people in there, and they were in a panic.
A hopelessness that came over me. We were emotionless. There was a hopelessness that came over me. A sense of dread, probably, right? A hopelessness. If we're not safe here, we're not safe anywhere. If we're not, what's going on? What are we doing? That's what happened after 9/11. Brilliant. Brilliant move on the parts of those in power. Because it worked. It worked. It's working now. It's working now. As I sit and talk with you, it's working now. 20% of the government is divided, thinking the president needs a new ballroom. Did you guys watch that shit? The third or fourth assassination attempt. Did you guys watch that? Oh no, be scared. The country has grown calloused. The country has literally grown callous to anything that happens in direct effect of our government because they lie. A lot of us are seeing them as liars now. The jig is up, fellas. The jig is up. And the problem with that is it's going to get worse before it gets better. They're going to go harder before it gets better. They're going to be more obvious about it because they're human. They may be evil, but they're human. The demons can only do so much. The demons that possess these evil, ugly humans, they can only do so much. They're not smart. They're just evil. They're not smart. That's why it looked like shit. That's why the entire attempt on President Trump's life at the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. looked like an idiot orchestrated the whole thing. We're on to them, which just means they'll have to work harder. They'll have to develop better AI at the expense of the American people, at the expense of the human race, really. What are we doing in Iran right now? Killing human beings. That's what we're doing in Iran right now. For what? Oh, remember 9/11? Psychological warfare. Now, I do have some good news. And that good news is that we have simple ways to defend ourselves from it. I'm going to play that for you also now. Hold on. Time out. I might pause this on and off because it's long. And maybe there's things that need to be said about it. So this is the last clip that I want to show you guys and share with you. But it's probably the most important one out of every single one of them that I showed you. So let's get to it. My bad. Constant barrage of horrifying pain is an abhorrent flesh, stealing from a sensible fact. On purpose, psychological work. Their goal: overload the cognitive brain to make people experience everything. Oh, my bad. Through the primal brain. Raw, predictable emotion. Let's go fucking kill them. Let's kill them all. Let's just bomb everybody. Let's just bomb them all. Let's go. Raw emotion. Primal instinct to survive is to kill. The only way I can live is to kill you because you are harming me. Psychological warfare gains the benefits of identification and knowledge and tool which can be utilized to use their emotions against you. Be cognizant of why you are feeling the way that you're feeling. Breaking psychological warfare is to find your map. Your internal map will bring you back into cognition. In psychological warfare, it is imperative that you activate it. A memory, experience, a root, that part of your psyche which provides grounding for your feet to stand on. I think that's absolutely important. Remembering that your life is valid, that your life is real, that everything around you, as real as it may seem, it's not as real as what you experienced yesterday with your daughter, with your son, with your mother, with your father, with your loved one, with your friend. The moment by moment moments that we have with people that mean something to us are why we are here. Not what's going on out there. Not the Iran war, not the presidential assassination attempts, not Charlie Kirk, not George Floyd. None of it. None of that is truly our business. Our business is right in front of us. God, home, family, work, right in front of us. We can ground ourselves just by looking around and seeing what means and seeing the value in the things that we find valuable, and we can reassess. we can reassess. If that's not that, if something isn't that valuable, that's okay. Discard it. Replace it with something that is. No judgment. Consumerism is just as part of psychological warfare as anything else. No judgment. Let's continue. We each have different activation triggers. Listening to a song or motivational speech, a particular film or book, an item, picture, or a scent. No matter how small you feel, you are a unique piece of the puzzle, and what you do matters. That is the most important thing to me. You are a valid piece of the puzzle, and what you do matters. What I do matters. And it might seem unconvincing because, oh, you don't have that many followers. Oh, you don't have this and that. You don't have subscribers and this and that. It's not about that, bro. It's not about how famous somebody gets. It's about believing in something so true that nobody else can deny it. And when they see it, be it here publicly on YouTube or in my personal life, when I speak my truth, I'm not speaking my truth to my anecdotes. I am speaking the truth to the world. That's what I strive for. That's why 9/11 happened for me. Is for me to be able to express what is going on and express it in my own way, for sure. But in order to reach other people so that they can see what's going on, not to instill fear. We're not afraid. If we sit in fear, we deserve to have our lives destroyed. We're not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm pissed. I've been pissed since I was 17 years old. This isn't right. It's not fair to treat us this way. The human race, you're human too, you fucking retard leader. Treating me? Same, you shit. These niggas shit the same way we do. Right out of their butt. Wiping their butt, just like we do. And then what? Oh no, I'm better than you. Oh no, I own you. And that's just as simple as it is. Right? Isn't it silly? What a silly thing to think. That somebody else can be better than me just because they have the power, just because they have the money. You can kill me at will then, huh? It does anger me. I didn't want to do this episode because I was pissed off when I was starting to research it. It took me back. It regressed me into this position of feeble-minded, angry 20-year-old broad, 20-year-old bitch who just wants to be mad at the world because the world isn't being fair to her. The world isn't being fair to us, you guys. When are we going to get tired of it? Oh no, I'm just going to wake up, go to my work, blah, blah, blah. When are we going to get tired? When are we going to get tired? I'm tired. But it's just me. Nobody gives a shit. But it's worth speaking about. I'm going to turn this off now. It's worth speaking about, you guys. It's worth spreading the information of how this works and directly pop culture and psychological warfare. 2 of those clips were from Howard Stern's show in his prime, really. Howard Stern has been famous for the last over 40 years for sure. He's fallen off recently because podcasts have taken over and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, Howard Stern was the original podcast. Some would argue that it was Tom Green. But honestly, the talk show, the 3 to 4 hour extended talk show is the original podcast. And Howard Stern happened to have been live, happened to have been in New York, right when 9/11 was happening. The most famous king of all media, Mr. Howard Stern, the king of all media, gave one of the best, actually, correspondence interviews during 9/11 period. He interviewed real people that were actually there during 9/11. You can look him up. Joey Boots, he was in the video I showed you. Cabby, they're all somewhat famous characters from the late 90s, early 2000s from the Howard Stern show. They were called the Whack Pack. But they all lived in New York. They were all there. They were all there. They witnessed it live themselves. And we got to hear them on the phone talking to Howard Stern, witness it. Now, not everybody got to do that, but we got to watch the same thing. They were only watching the news, the same news we were watching. They weren't watching anything different. But we have the privilege of finally hearing the reactions, archived, historically archived footage of people reacting to something that happened to us, and not because of us and not because of some other country, because we did it to ourselves, and we continuously do it to ourselves because we allow it. The American people allow our government to rape us in the brain with psychological warfare. Because I got to get up for work tomorrow, because I got to do this, because I got to do that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, life moves on. I got to go to work too, bro. I got to do it too. I got to wake up tomorrow, 5:30 in the morning. I got to do the same. I guess that's enough excuse to just like be like, oh yeah, no, that's okay. Oh yeah, Samantha Guthrie. Oh my God, her mom. Oh my God, the COVID death toll. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but none of it is your fault, first of all. And secondly, your government is doing this to you. Our government, the United States of America, is doing this to us. I think I'm going to end it there, if I'm being honest. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for letting me be me. I am planning on rebranding this channel. I have highly debated whether to move this onto Kick, because I don't necessarily want to be banned on YouTube, but I also want to play like music I don't have to like copyright, like in the background and whatnot. Among other things, I am passionate about the things I talk about, and I don't have to hide the way I talk about them, if I'm being honest, and I shouldn't have to hide the way I talk about them. But I do understand that loose lips sink ships. So there's that, especially here on YouTube. The Jews did 9/11. I will see you guys sometime next week. Bye.